Real Madrid have lost their second successive games, conceding 7 goals and only scoring 1, as they lost 3 goals to 1 against AC Milan in the Champions League at home at the Santiago Bernabeu. And I do think this is mainly because of Vinicius and Mbappe, which you will see in this video, that Carlo Ancelotti have to sort out if Real Madrid have any aspirations this season. Guys, this is a brand new channel, so please do subscribe, as we are going to have a lot more tactical analysis, not only big games, but most exciting games as well. The Real Madrid press was really all over the place when AC Milan looked to build up. But at the more steady moments, you saw that Vinicius went to press from an angle while Mbappe would clock down the other centre-back. And if the double pivot of AC Milan would come up, you would see that they also tried to press the double pivot where Valverde would go out wide, and often you saw Modric coming on to the other pivot as well. The problem with this press, however, is that Jude Bellingham was pressing on the left side and Real Madrid kind of looked like a 4-4-2. I think, in my opinion, that he should have kept Bellingham centrally, but because he was there, the double pivot could easily receive the ball. And Modric and Tchouaméni had to keep their positions, they couldn't engage, because you had both Musa and also Pulisic just circulating in the back of Real Madrid's double pivot. And also the lack of engagement from Vinicius and Mbappe. Once the ball passed them, they didn't really do anything to get back and maybe put some pressure on these players as well. Even though on paper Pulisic was a right winger, he was more central, and it was often Emerson or even Musa that would keep the width out wide. Rangers went a little bit higher, leaving Fofana as the single pivot for AC Milan, and therefore you also saw at times that Emerson was a part of a back three and Hernandez operated slightly in this left channel. And this was all done by having Real Madrid narrow so that Leao can have a one-on-one with Lucas Vazquez over on that wing. Here we see that Emerson Royal was actually a third centre-back, and also Hernandez in the left inside channel drawing Mbappe, and also that Pulisic and Musa swap position, with Pulisic more central than what Musa actually was. Though the threat of Rafael Leao against Lucas Vazquez was too big for Carlo Ancelotti, and therefore he had Valverde go back to defend as a wing-back. Now this was a problem on so many levels because you have 5 players of AC Milan operating centrally. This meant that Vinicius and Mbappe had to come back and defend. So this would hurt the attacking and the pressing severely of Real Madrid. And also the situations where they didn't defend, that actually made Tchouaméni and Modric come out of their positions, and then AC Milan could constantly find players just in behind Modric and Tchouaméni. So this was a problem on so many levels for Real Madrid, based on the fact that you have no work ethic from Mbappe and Vinicius. We see here that Valverde had to keep tabs on Rafael Leao, but look at how Mbappe and Vinicius also had to come a little bit more deeper in order to defend. In the scenarios where they didn't concentrate and didn't defend, Modric had to come out a little bit higher to close down the space, and if he didn't get the ball, now you suddenly have Tchouaméni down 2 against 1, and this is basically describing Real Madrid. To try and compensate for this, we did say that Jude Bellingham did come a lot more central in order to make up those numbers that AC Milan was founding, and he realized soon that he had to maybe leave Lucas Vazquez occasionally and trust him in the one-on-one situation with Rafael Leao, and therefore that allowed Modric and Tchouaméni to go a little bit higher and put on some pressure. But this did not help either, because now you had these wide open spaces over on the wings for AC Milan to take advantage of, and that is all because of the fact that these two are not contributing at all. Here we can properly see that Bellingham pressing from a more central positioning, but at times he was even at the back of the double pivot, allowing Modric to go out, and you can now see that you had 3 players that was running at full on Mendy. Real Madrid were initiating a much higher press with their front two, but the problem here was that the single pivot could easily just receive the ball, as they had this numerical advantage, and the second line of Real Madrid was way too flat in order to put pressure, where one simple pass through this line would easily put them in danger with AC Milan attacking them. And they later on started retreating back to their normal positions, and this allowed Fofana to have a lot more time on the ball. It seems as though Vini and Mbappe were pressing a lot higher, but look at how the single pivot can easily receive the ball, turn around, and look at how the high line of the midfield is actually trying to put pressure on them. But look at how straight this line is. A single pass straight through the middle to Pulisic would put Real Madrid in immediate danger. So this was not great tactics. But Fofana receiving the ball with absolutely no pressure. And also because Reinders started to drop deep because Modric was keeping or blocking the passing lane towards him. But this now had two players. You cannot only press him, you had to press both. And what about the problem with Musa and also Pulisic being here? This now forced Militao and Rudiger to go up a little bit higher in order to put pressure on them. Maybe there's a few things that Carlo Ancelotti could have done to maybe win this game, is maybe just pick Valverde as a right back, because he can then take care of Leao and also provide the flair in the attacking sense in this situation right over here. I would have also picked Goulet in order to be able to keep hold of this right wing and then have Bellingham at the top of the diamond with Vinicius out wide. Maybe you can play a 4-2-3-1 like this, and that would have had them in a good situation. Therefore, you have Bellingham in his preferred position. You have the double pivot of Camavinga, Vinicius out wide, and Mbappe stay centrally, and then Valverde taking care of Leao. So that is what I would have done if I was the manager of Real Madrid. Ancelotti really has his work cut out, and I also think it's questionable tactics and positioning for his players that is having his team performing so underwhelmingly. And also, how is this guy on the bench? I know he came from injury, but I would start him over Kylian Mbappe. He has so much more to offer, but I do think he's definitely facing the sack in my opinion, because it's just woeful from Real Madrid. And also, oh my goodness, Vinicius and Mbappe, they are not even defending. Guys, as always, subscribe to the channel as more content and tactics will be coming your way.